You have like actual lyrics though. There's not all just like random noises and stuff, right? Is it all just random noises?
A lot of it is.
Wow. Okay. Alrighty.
When Nathan's doing vocals, it's more often real English words, but when I'm doing vocals and when John is, well, no, John actually had some real lines. I think I'm the only person that might not have actually said any real words on the record.
This is news to me as well, but I think it's pretty cool.
Welcome to episode 44 of the Cast That Ends Creation. I'm your host, Chris Deering. This is the show where I interview bands and public figures in the mathcore adjacent genres. If you beautiful people in chat have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them in. I'll try to read them aloud. If you'd like to sub for $5, you get access to some exclusive emotes, as well as access to the shows before they hit YouTube and streaming services. You can also get a free monthly sub by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. It's like taking $5 from Jeff Bezos and putting it into my pocket. You're watching this on YouTube, listening to this in your car, and have no idea what I'm talking about. The show is first shown live at Twitch. Join us every Sunday and Wednesday at twitch.tv/thecast for the live cast. With that out of the way, let me introduce our guest tonight who dropped their long-awaited self-titled debut back in February. Welcome in Youth Novel. How's it going, guys?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. You guys are awesome. So tell us who you are, what you do in the band.
Do you want to go first?
I'll go first. Sure. I'm John. I guess I play guitar in the band. I've done at various points I've done like guitar, vocals, drums, that sort of thing. But I guess currently mostly just guitar.
Yeah.
Ready?
And I'm Maya, and I play guitar, and I produce most of the record. I produce almost everything Youth Novel's done otherwise.
Okay. And we're missing a couple other members. Who else is involved in this?
There's John Riley who plays bass. He is doing homework right now, frankly. And there's Nathan Whittle who filled in for John on vocals on this last record. And there's Sean Horner who used to be in the band. He played guitar and did vocals. And there was Zach Geimer, who used to play drums.
Okay, who currently plays drums? That was the thing I couldn't really nail down when I was doing my research.
I was hoping you would ask this question. Those are all program drums.
Oh, okay. Nice. You can't really tell. That's awesome. Did a good job.
Yeah.
Maya's the master of making program drums sound authentic.
Well, it sounds great. It sounds great.
And
So
all those fills are her, 100%.
so you guys did you guys choose Youth Novel because you like reading books, or why did you choose the name?
I don't remember. Man, that's like 8 years ago. I think I just thought it sounded cool.
I wasn't in the band yet, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of tired of playing in bands that had lame names, and I was like, this one seems pretty cool, at least compared. And so I think, but actually, Sean, who was the other member at the time when we were coming up with the name, he wanted to name the band Father Figure, but we didn't realize there was already a Screamo band called Father Figure from Denton, Texas. So that one was off the table. So Youth Novel it was.
What were some of the
that.
other lame choices?
I don't know. I don't think there were many. I think it was kind of like
Landed on
I
this
don't
one
know.
pretty quickly then.
Yeah, it was weird. It just sort of it's like it came in a dream or something. Perfect band name.
So your Bandcamp says you guys started in 2013. How did you all come together? How did this form?
So I guess the band started in 2013. Although Sean and I, so it started with myself and Sean, just sort of playing riffs and listening to music, and we were both freshmen in college at the time, and I think we just wanted to write some stuff and play some stuff. So I recorded some drums and we wrote some riffs. And that was kind of it at the moment. It was kind of like we just released a couple songs and then I think we started thinking more seriously about like playing shows and recording more material. So I think after that, it was John on bass who came in as the third member. And then I think John recommended Zach Geimer, who was the drummer, and then he came in. And then that was the lineup for a while. That was the lineup through the first EP. And
okay,
then
let's talk about that real quick. So you started with a couple singles, "Boyish" and "Stay Here." I would say very math rocky with some post-hardcore stuff. You did a lot of the twinkly guitars. It's about 50-50 clean and screaming vocals, I would say. Then you released your EP, "Turn Around Abruptly Beside a Mirror and Jumped at My Own Reflection," which is an amazing name, by the way. That's so good. Oh, I love that. And then you started numbering the songs with Roman numerals. Why did you do the Roman numerals?
I
I don't remember. Maya, do you remember?
don't really remember. I think that's just what I had them named in SoundCloud when I was sending you guys demos, and it just stuck.
Yeah,
And we
it may have
didn't
just
name them
been
anything else.
laziness.
Yeah, pure laziness on our part.
It goes with the aesthetic, though. You know, it sort of turned into something.
I guess
couldn't
it's
exactly
like
name
chapter
them.
1, chapter 2 of the youth novel, right?
Exactly.
Oh, hey, there you go.
I figured it out.
That's the youth novel, the youth code, if you will.
Yeah.
After that, you did a split with Coma Regalia. After that, The Gentle Harm of Tradition. How'd you hook up with Coma Regalia?
Coma's like they've been around for a while in like the Screamo scene, and there's kind of like a running joke that once you've done a split with Coma Regalia, you've like made it. So yeah, they're a very prolific group.
Shout
Lots
out
of
Sean
releases.
Decker.
Yeah, shout out to Sean. And I think we were originally going to do that split with Lear from California,
Lear first,
but I think Lear backed out of it or something, and then we did it.
There was supposed to be. Was that supposed to be with ice hockey after that? I think there were a couple of bands before it ended up being with Coma, actually.
Yeah, I think that's right with ice hockey. I remember there being a Facebook group to put it together. But yeah, we had known Coma through just like the internet Screamo scene, and yeah, it's hard to not be aware of that group, you know, because they put out so much cool stuff.
That's also the guy from Middleman Records, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
extraordinarily prolific musician.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So then after that, you did this crazy 8-way split, 8 Feet Under, and I don't think I've ever heard of an 8-way split like ever. Even like with grind bands, and they're known for doing a bunch of crazy splits. So like, how did the 8-way split come to be?
That's probably more of a question for Dave Norman from Zegma Beach Records, but he just had like he's actually got a whole ass video on his like series of videos about all the Zegma Beach releases he's done. And the final 4 countries that I got the release right here actually, that the artists on the split came from were Sweden, Canada, USA, and Italy. But I think those were not originally what they were intended to be. I don't remember exact details, but all I remember is that it was a very long and arduous process for this release to get into the hands of the people, not only on on Zegma Beach's side, but on the youth novel side as well. We actually had that was our first and only release with Tristan Garwood on drums, who I had played with previously in the band Bonzo.
Why'd y'all switch drummers?
Zach was just super busy with school and was maybe losing interest in the band and, you know, just life stuff.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up because after this, you all went on hiatus. So what happened?
I think most of us had graduated, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
you, John, Sean, and Gaim graduated.
Yeah. So I think we graduated, and then there was like the idea floating around of doing it, you know, continuing the band remotely, I guess. I mean, I had gone to New Jersey. I think Sean had gone to New York, we were kind of all split up in different places. And I mean, we had some music that we wanted to release, which would then become the LP that we just put out. But I think it was like we weren't really in a state to put it out at the moment, just with everyone being so scattered and everyone being like, just graduated college, time to find a job or apply to graduate school or whatever.
So it wasn't like some fiery band breakup and like there's bad blood and everything. It's just like, shit happens kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
People graduated from college that we met them at and moved away after, which is what happens.
Okay. Well, what made y'all come back together?
Well, I had been sort of working on the record on and off throughout, like the time between then and the release of the record. And I would sort of like, it wasn't like continuous, I guess. It was just sort of, I would have like, oh, I'm going to work on the youth novel record today for a little while. And I would export it and I would, send it to John Riley or something and say, oh, I played with these for fun. I wonder what we should do with these. Haha. And about 5 years of that or 6 years of that later, at some point it became clear that, okay, I want to actually release this record. And like the music we wrote when we were all in the same place was just too good to not like do something with.
So is a lot of this like just you then, or how does it work?
So a lot of the guitar tracks on the songs that I had written with John are the original demos from the original DI tracks from the demos. So John does in fact play guitar on the record in some parts. And some of the songs I did just write myself. But John Riley was also around, is around. I live like 5 minutes from him now. And he was, giving me little pointers, criticisms, ideas on songs and stuff. But it was really a lot of just like, because the stuff we had, I wish I could play some right now, but like me and John used to sit in a room and just let Cubase record and just like play and just like try to figure out riffs. And some of those recordings sound very funny, like because there's no room mic or anything, and so it's just two guitars like just sort of timelessly playing like with each other for like 30 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of those recordings from when we were starting to demo the LP that's just like nonsensical, almost like you could release it as like an art rock record, I think, probably. Or like experimental outsider art. It's just like us goofing around.
Do it.
Let's do it.
Well, a lot of those riffs did end up being used on the LP, actually. So it would be a little silly to do it now, I guess. But
so now that you released your self-titled debut on Zegma Beach Records, there's no clean singing anymore. Like you had it before, but now you don't. So what would happen? Why is there no clean singing?
I think it was more just. I think we would put the clean singing in sort of piecemeal where we thought, oh, it would be cool there, So I don't think it was ever like,
A crucial element?
Yeah, it was more sort of like a seasoning that we would put on.
It was seasoning. I like that.
Yeah.
To be quite honest, it just didn't occur to any of us when we were recording vocals for the LP to do any cleans. Probably would have if we thought of it, but.
So the way that the album seems to like be laid out, it seems to get less intense as it goes on, aside from a couple of tracks towards the end, but for the most part you have more melodic stuff happening in the second half of the album. Is this like a conscious effort, or did this just sort of happen? Or do you even regard it as that being the case?
I didn't. I had played around with like the track listing of the record for a long time. I don't think I necessarily intended on having it be like, the first half is like heavy and the second half, is, you know, more melodic, but like I guess I had thought of it more of just like the beginning and ends of the tracks and which ones fit together in which order, and it sort of just ended up that way.
Okay.
Yeah, the album paces really well. I think you did a great job with that, Maya.
Absolutely agree.
Inadvertent as it may have been.
I mean, I had a good long 6 years to work on it, so
Yeah.
it better have been fucking good.
Yeah.
So I'm not as up on Screamo as I would like to be, but to me, your new album has a lot of similarities to Mongrel era Number 12 Looks Like You. Is that an influence on you, or was it that they were influenced by Screamo, which influenced you?
Um, Probably a little bit of both. I do love that record. I don't think we really. I mean, I always thought of the Number 12, especially like Nuclear Sad Nuclear Era, as being just like shreddy screamo. It's just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very close to Screamo, yeah. I would say if it yeah, I don't remember it being conscious, but I've been listening to the Number 12 for like since I was a little kid because they're from North Jersey where I grew up. So they would play shows and stuff, and yeah, like one of the maybe the first heavy band, maybe the first band that had like screaming, you know, as we recognize it. Maybe the first band I heard. So they've had a good long time to embed themselves in my programming. So at least for me, I think probably it showed up subconsciously. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah,
Shreddy
there's
Screamo, I think.
there's a lot of moments on the album where I'm like, oh, that was definitely like, you know, something from like influenced by something Number 12 did. What are some of your other influences?
Mm.
for Screamo specifically, I love Ostraka. Deathless was like a crazy record for me when I first heard it. And it sort of changed the idea of what I thought Screamo could be a little bit, even though it wasn't like. I mean, it was, and it like sort of building on stuff that's already been done, I guess, but presented in a very cohesive and just well executed way. I think Portraits of Past is a band we usually get compared to a lot, and we
Portraits of
like them a
what?
lot too. Portraits of Past.
Portraits of.
They're like
I'm trying to write these down because, it's, like I said, I'm not so much on Screamo. But if this is stuff
yeah.
y'all are into, then I'll probably dig it.
Yeah, Portraits of Past is like a very, very early Screamo band, arguably the first Screamo band, depending on who you ask. But yeah, they're a real cool band, very melodic, with that kind of like grindy like guitar tone a little bit.
I've always really liked a band called Birthday Boys with a Z at the end. It's Hunter Hunt Hendricks from Liturgy. Their I think first band. It was like a screamo band, but it's great. It's like it's very riffy. Which is something that I always like in screamo is like songs and passages that are like centered around really really tight riffs and sort of interweaving riffs. So I really like that band. They didn't put out very much stuff. And then I've always really liked Misha too, which is a band from Baltimore, a screamo band. Yeah, great stuff. Super raw, super cathartic, which I think is a bit of an overused term, but I think applies to Misha. They're great. Yeah.
Every one of their album covers is someone vomiting, which is
Yeah.
neat.
Talk about thematic
Okay.
cohesion.
Polka King in the chat's really into the idea of hearing your jam tracks. By the way,
That's John Riley.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you already talked about the writing process a little bit. Can you expand a little bit more on that? So you would just like write a song, then send it off to John, and y'all would like tweak things together.
On like maybe back in the day, like when we were all living together still, like we would get together or shoot riffs back and forth, and but there wasn't honestly a whole lot of like actual like full songs done. by the time that we had sort of gone on hiatus. And at that point, I sort of had just like started working on arranging, I guess, on my own because there wasn't a whole lot of more material that needed to be written.
Okay, just filling in the cracks and stuff, expanding in certain areas.
Yeah.
Okay, well, how would
Yeah.
y'all do it as a band when y'all were writing the material you started with?
I think that was mostly like just coming up with riffs and sort of trying to string them together. I've always been I think one of my strong points is like coming up with the riffs, but I really kind of fail when it comes to stringing them together, like song structure, that sort of thing. So I think Maya did a killer job on that, and I think you deserve a lot of credit for that on the LP. But yeah, but I would just get into a space where I'd write some riffs, and I'd be like, cool, I got riffs written, that's it.
Yeah.
You know, and then eventually would sort of procrastinate on it and have to put it into a structure. That's kind of how I would do it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. The songs usually came together when we ended up having a deadline to meet, i.e., like a release or
Yeah.
something.
We work great under pressure.
Oh yeah.
So personally, I find it hard to pick a favorite song. Each one is amazing. Each one has its own little hook that kind of grabs your attention. I guess aside from track one, because track one is perfect, I think from the get go. But aside from that, I would say your quieter moments are your better moments, like your proggier, chiller stuff. I think you do a good job of building like the tension and release, and the album flows super well. It's great as one unit. Like honestly, this is really really good stuff.
Thanks, dude. That's super kind.
So let's talk a little bit about the recording process. So on your Bandcamp, you say that it's mastered by Jack Shirley at Atomic Garden, who's the guy that did Death Heaven and Oathbreaker, King Woman, and like Graph Orlac, just to name a couple of them. What was it like working with him?
It was. I mean, he just mastered the record, so by the time I had finished mixing it, I just sent it off to him, and like he got back to us super quick. Did a great job, pretty much on the first pass.
Yeah, I
Nice.
wish we could. I wish we could say that there was like we sat down with him in his studio, and but really when it's mastering, at least in my experience, it might be different for other people. It's just like send the tracks, they do their thing, send it back. You know, very businesslike.
Yeah, he's a consummate professional, and I do love the sound of "Roads to Judah" by Death Heaven. That is one of my favorite records, production-wise.
And
So
I
you
love
were trying to get
Kamadra.
a sound similar to that then, or?
I don't think I necessarily consciously do, but it probably just kind of come back to it at some point anyway.
Yeah,
What did you say, John?
I said I love Kamadra, which is Jack Shirley played in. Great Screamo band. But yeah,
That
his
is
production work is stellar. He did the 10,000 Leagues record too. I think he
that record.
recorded and mixed it and recorded it to tape, I think, too. That's a great. I love the way that record sounds.
Recorded to tape. That's insane. Jeez,
Mm-hmm.
can't even imagine. So your Bandcamp says KL did guest vocals. Who's that exactly?
That's our friend Chris Lane. He does a project called Content. He describes it as like mumble rap shoegaze.
Okay.
And that's sort of I help him produce that. And he was just hanging out with us one day when we were recording vocals, and John was just like, "Hey, you should record vocals for a song." And I think they came out super good. They're on track 10, 20, I guess, in the sort of midsection bridge.
Okay. So you guys recorded everything yourselves then?
Yeah.
What was it like recording everything?
I mean, it was definitely a different experience this time because it's the first one that we did program drums. And drums are usually the main limiting factor for just, our recording in general, because I mean, it's always a big production to record drums, and you know, the drummer has to be super prepared and everything, and especially if the drummer is not, you know, like used to recording or anything. You know, not that I'm knocking on Gaim or anything, but like, you know, and regardless of how good a drummer is, like, it's always just a big like hassle to record drums,
Yeah, you gotta
especially
have
in the
Mike's place
DIY
in just the
space.
right spot and everything.
Yeah. So it was definitely freeing for this record to just be able to make the drums exactly what I wanted them to be. Um, but I do love working with live drums, so it would have been nice. But you know, it is what it is. Other than that, actually, it's the first record that we've done pretty much exclusively because I didn't record any amps or anything. It's all amp sims actually on the record too. Um, so really the only like recording part of it that felt like actual recording sessions were the vocals, I guess, because we were just all there and like actually tracking as like people and
Oh,
not just me
nice.
in my room. Yeah.
Well, what's
I
that
think
like? Like,
DI is underrated.
dude,
I
right?
love
Yeah,
working with DIs. It's just
so
so
easy.
flexible. Yeah.
Exactly. You can do whatever you wanted, and like if you don't like it later on, you can just change it up. You don't have to like completely re-record a thing.
Yeah.
So I can't find your lyrics for the for your new release. Why aren't they up on Bandcamp? All the other ones are.
That is an excellent question.
Because there's
And
not a deadline, so you're procrastinating. I gotcha.
the answer to that question is there are not really many lyrics on the album. um, we especially when I was recording vocals, I sort of just converged it, is how I usually say it, which is just scream random syllables. And if asked, hopefully in writing, you'll just provide lyrics that sound like whatever you're screaming.
Okay.
But Nathan had some lyrics skeletons that he had written down that contain actual English words, um, but they weren't really substantial enough that we figured that we should include them on the Bandcamp.
It's improvisational. It's like free jazz, but with vocals. Breaking new territory here.
Okay.
Oh yes.
I've known some death metal bands that do that actually. So yeah,
Mhm.
it's super. It's not too weird for me. So do you have like actual lyrics though? There's not all just like random noises and stuff, right? Is it all just random noises?
A lot of it is.
Wow. Okay. Alrighty.
When Nathan's doing vocals, it's more often real English words, but when I'm doing vocals and when John is, well, no, John actually had some real lines. I think I'm the only person that might not have actually said any real words on the record.
This is news to me as well. And I think it's pretty cool.
I had this whole thing written out like, oh, if it's like your lyrics from your earlier stuff, it probably deals with, depression and relationships and stuff. I was going to ask if there's an overall theme for your lyrics, but all this stuff's just tossed out the window.
Well, John Dickinson wrote lyrics for all the older stuff. So he can speak on that, I guess, but
Yeah.
I am not confident in my ability as a lyric writer, so that's why I did what I did.
So, John,
Yeah.
what's the inspiration behind your lyrics then on the old stuff then?
Oh, I have to get back into that frame of mind. I don't know. I think it was a lot of self-loathing and like a lot of like themes of regret and yeah, like you said, depression and inadequacy and that sort of thing. I don't know. These days, I try to keep more of a PMA, positive mental attitude. So
Hell yeah,
maybe
bro.
I would be writing like youth crew style lyrics, like start today type stuff now.
Give up.
Yeah, don't give up.
in.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't. It's been a while since I've tried to like, write meaningful, whether it's lyrics or whatever. It's been a while. I would be interested in seeing what I can make of that. But yeah, the early stuff was like a lot of like negative emotion, like that sort of thing.
Heavy with Shadows in chat says lyrics are overrated. Mouth noises are the future.
What up, Eric?
I agree.
So your artwork is pretty ambiguous. It's up on screen right now. What is this exactly? What are we looking at? Artwork for the new album.
I believe it is a painting that John Riley's friend did. John, are you still in chat? Can you confirm this?
What's it a painting of exactly? Is it just like I have an idea of what I think it is, but I want you to tell me first before I look like an idiot.
The original painting is not much more clear than the album cover. It is digitally manipulated, but like it's oh no, John did the painting. There you go. Okay,
Come on,
well,
Maya, what's
John
up?
Riley painted this. I'm sorry. I think I confused it with something else. But yeah, John painted it and edited it.
Well, maybe
To me,
John can tell us what it is. What do you think it is? What does it look like to you?
To me, it looks like just like a cloudy evening with like a blood moon. You know, it strikes me as like if you were to look up at the clouds on a night where, you know, I don't know.
See, that's
Maybe-
where I was, but then I was looking at it really closely today. I think this is somebody crying blood, but I'm not completely sure. Let me point it out. I got in my mouse here. I'm
I
gonna go
see
around here.
that.
So we got the mouth here, got the nose,
Yeah.
the eyes, and like the blood coming out of it. To
Yeah,
me,
I
that's
see
what it
that.
looks like now that I'm looking at it really deeply, but like it could just be me forming patterns and stuff. I really wish John would type in chat what it's supposed to be so I don't look like a complete idiot. But
I've seen that some people say it looks like a blurry photo of blood on like a dirty basement floor or something.
okay, I can see that too.
I mean, this is what art's all about, right?
Yeah,
Everyone's
yeah.
subjective
Open
interpretations.
their interpretation.
That's
yeah.
great. I think there may be, when all is said and done, there may be more discussion about the art than the music, which I'm fine with. I think that's great.
So moving on here. So I saw one of your posts on Facebook was talking about a show you guys were doing in 2014, saying that you're gonna perform an 102-minute long score to Harriet the Spy. Did this happen? And yeah, what was the story behind that?
Nah, man, that didn't happen. That was just that was like a shit post. Although they
Okay.
didn't,
Deep cut. I forgot
didn't-
about that.
yeah, they didn't call them shit posts back then. That was just, I don't know. I did a lot of weird. I thought it was very funny. I still kind of do it every now and then, but I thought it was just very funny to post stuff like that. You know.
Oh yeah.
I think
Okay.
people. I don't know. At some point, I think people got tired of it and were like, you know, shut the fuck up. Just post the music.
I do remember a period of time where our likes on Facebook were constantly in flux. So
Yeah.
Okay. Echo
Yeah.
Beauty Terror in chat says art is about scaring your parents.
that's the
I
fucking
can see that.
truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm cool with that. I like that.
That's all I do.
So what was your best show?
Our best show.
Best show. I would say, I mean, the show that I thought was like the most monumental and cool was probably the Loma show. I don't know if it was necessarily the one we performed the best at. I wouldn't know which one that would be. But yeah, I remember being so amped about the Loma show. I remember when Eric Scobie announced it, or maybe it was right before he announced it, but we like scrambled to get him to put us on it. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I remember just going ham, just going all out. It was a lot of fun. That would probably be what I think would be the best show. I'm not sure. What about you, Maya?
John Riley just said in chat, Exploration. The Exploration's last show that we played was his favorite. Or
That was a
what
lot
he
of fun.
says was the best by far, in his words. That was a really good show.
Yeah.
Who else played that show? That was probably, what's that band from Grand Rapids? The twinkly one. Oliver Houston.
Yeah, Oliver Houston played that.
show.
Yeah, I remember that was like, we didn't find out until later that was the Exploration's last show. They didn't want to advertise that they were breaking up or something.
Yeah.
Of course, now we've outed it, but I guess it's been long enough, right?
Yeah. At least my favorite show that I think we played was the one at your old house with Ice Hockey and Gas Up
Yeah, Gas
Universe,
Up.
and one of Jeff Webb's old projects.
Yeah, Truth About Dreaming.
Yeah, Truth About Dreaming played that show too. Yeah, that
Yeah.
I
was.
haven't heard Gossip Your Hearse being mentioned in a long time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think they're nowadays. I think they're underrated. They've kind of been forgotten to the annals of Screamo history, but they were great. They were like super doing a lot of different stuff.
I bemoan this every single time Gas Up is brought up in conversation, but I was back in, what was it, 2015? I was actually recording and mixing a new Gas Up EP that I thought was gonna fucking like just like kill people. I thought it was gonna like absolutely just destroy. Um, Vocals never got recorded and it never got released.
That
And
sucks.
that's the end of that story. It was so good. Pat Bright, the guitarist at the time, was playing with a 9-string guitar, and they had a
Wow.
guy on like modular synth, and it was absolutely insane.
They should pull a youth novel and release it several years later.
I would love to help them do that.
Did they release one? I thought they released one song.
They
from
did
it,
release one song
yeah.
on a comp or something.
Yeah, that one sounded so different. It was cool. It was like way different than all their other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So what was y'all's worst shows y'all played?
I don't know. We were talking about this before we started streaming. I can't think of one where I walked away thinking like, wow, everything went wrong there.
I guess that's a good thing, but is there like, I don't know, a time when maybe you got in trouble during the show or anything like that?
I don't think anything quite like that, but one of the shows we played at the Sanctuary, it was either the Facility show or the Loma show. It took us like 30, 45 minutes to actually get set up because I think one of our guitar input jacks was busted or one of our amps wasn't working right. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think that was the Loma show.
Was
right?
that the Loma show? Okay.
Maybe. Yeah, I think we had some sort of technical difficulties, and yeah, I think it did take about 30 minutes for us to get started.
We had technical difficulties at almost every show.
Yeah, that was sort of like a theme going across.
Yeah.
Well, if that's like your worst thing that could happen, then y'all made it, man. Easy Street, you know?
Hell yeah.
Have y'all toured or just played in your area?
Never really toured.
No, we didn't tour. I think some of the members didn't want to at the time. Yeah, I was always down for it. I thought it would be so fun.
I would love to tour with Youth Novel, but
yeah.
Well,
yeah, never happened.
Y'all could now. Y'all got any plans to like come out or whatever? Like obviously not right now, but would you want to come out and like tour and things like that?
I would love to whenever it's possible again. I just have no idea when that's going to be.
Yeah, I think it would be fun to play shows again whenever that happens. A little tour, that could be cool. I'd have to get time off from work. That's one thing to worry about now.
Yeah, I have to build up those paid time off days.
Yeah.
You gotta get adulting out of the way.
Exactly.
So we got a question here that we ask everybody. How do you dress your hot dogs?
Ooh, good question. Both of us are from the New Jersey, New York area, so I have a feeling our answers will be pretty similar. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. I never had like one way. I mean, when I was a little kid, it was just like ketchup. But then
your palate expands and you want to like venture out, huh?
I kind of loaded up with everything now, man. I put like the relish, the onions, there's a place actually, there's a place in Jersey called Hot Grill in Clifton, New Jersey. That's like a meme between friends, my friends from Jersey and I. It's like so good, and it's just so bad for you. They have like chili. I'm vegetarian now, so I don't go anymore, but they have like ridiculous stuff on it. It's so good. But yeah, to answer your question, I usually just put everything that's available on it nowadays.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I mean, at the end of the day, like hot dogs are not great for you. So the more vegetables you can pile on, the better.
Just kind of cancel out the bad stuff, right?
if if there's like a chili sauce or like a New York style like onion sauce going on, like I'm
Onion
always down with
sauce? What the heck is that?
yeah. Showing my stripes a little bit here. There's like a sort of like the onions are cooked down and like there's a little bit of vinegariness to them.
So it's kind of like a relish, I guess?
It's kind of like a relish, but it's like reddish orange instead of it being like green.
That sounds
Well, that's because
awful.
it's
What?
no, it's
Orange
good.
colored onions.
I
That's...
swear to God, it's good.
I'm down to try that.
Yeah,
That sounds great.
you'd put whatever on there,
Yeah, you
right, John?
gotta
So
put a little
Yeah.
papaya dog or papaya king. Yeah.
do you put the mayo, mustard, and ketchup on there, John? Or you the Holy Trinity kind of guy?
I don't think I've ever put mayo on a hot dog. Not because I wouldn't want to. I just don't think it's ever been available to me. I'll have to try that next time, though. Yeah, that sounds good.
That's an East Coast thing. I hadn't heard of mayo on hot dogs until I moved here either. So
Oh, it's a Midwest thing, maybe?
Midwest loves its mayo, man.
Yeah.
true. I'm surprised they're not putting ranch on hot dogs.
That's a step too far. So why don't you have any merch up? Y'all just got tapes. No shirts, nothing like that. What's going on?
We just didn't make any, I guess.
Yeah.
It'd be cool
We've been
if we
talking
did.
about maybe doing some shirts or something. I would like to. I've got like a screen print kit here in the apartment.
Oh, cool.
So I think it
Ooh.
would be cool to do some.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think youth novel, at least nowadays, is always like try to put like the minimum physical stuff out, because I think in the past, like we've had unsold records and that sort of thing. So I think we probably want to be conscious of the waste that we're putting out. At least John Riley would say that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that factored into it or if it was just an oversight, but
We definitely did want to shoot for like a more limited physical release, at least for like the actual like tapes or vinyl if we ever do that. Just because like yeah, at the end of the day, so much of that stuff is just gonna end up in a landfill. As much as I hate to admit it, like,
Well, you
like,
brought it up with the vinyl, so I guess that's not happening then.
I mean, who knows if it seems like a reasonable option, we might do vinyl. But like right now, we don't really have any plans for it.
Okay.
But yeah,
maybe a small run. I don't know. I think vinyl's super cool. It is wasteful, but I remember when we got put on vinyl for the first time, I was so stoked.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a completely different feeling than having it on a CD, right? Like,
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah.
It's much more substantial. Look at that. That's beautiful.
I love this record.
It's such a financial investment that it like represents that your band is good enough to sink money into.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
There you go. And y'all could do like a run of like 100 or something too. It doesn't even have to be anything crazy.
That's what I would think, is if we were to do it, maybe do something like that.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Not confirming or denying at the moment.
So this is out on Zegama Beach Records, right? Or are they just a distributor? How does it work?
Yeah, Dave put together the tapes. He printed out the labels, did the incredible swirl.
Yeah, look at
that's
that. Oh my
unique
god.
to each one. But yeah, he's been doing physical releases since the beginning. He put out the first EP that we put out on tape, which was the first physical release I think I had ever been a part of. And that tape is now very rare. Collect them all.
Yeah.
Hashtag based, hashtag rare.
Yeah, I think it's going for like $25 or something on Discogs, which for a tape, I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. Jeez.
Yeah, Dave's been there since really since the beginning. Put out our first tape, sort of took that chance on us. So
Shout
he's
out
the
to
homie.
Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, a man with intense devotion to Screamo.
Truly. Admirable.
What was the last album you guys listened to?
Like
Actual last album you heard? Yeah.
Diamond Eyes by Deftones. I was
Okay.
listening to it just before this.
You know,
That's a
I'm gonna look like an idiot here, but I've never heard the Deftones. Straight
That's
up.
fine.
Really? That's fine.
Is
Yeah,
it?
I mean,
don't
I
know, a lot of
like
people
them.
talk about it. I need to check it out, man. I need to check that stuff out.
I think at the end of the day, they did have an impact on music, but like not a lot of bands like straight up copied them. So
Hmm.
you can listen to Deftones and then be like, okay, that's Deftones.
They're kind of like one of the only bands that broke out of the new metal, because they were kind of new metal at the beginning, and then
Yeah.
they became sort of more alternative. Yeah,
That's
I
why
think
I never
Diamond
listened
Eyes
to
is
them
cool.
because I just associated them with like Korn and stuff, and I'm like not a big fan of Korn, so I probably won't be digging these guys, you know.
You got to
might
check
like
out White Pony, man.
My Pony is a great record.
Yeah,
That's supposed to be like the best one, right?
It's, a
yeah, it's
classic
good.
one. People, I think, all have different like opinions about Deftones records, I think.
Hmm. So, what about you, John? What was the last album you listened to?
Last album I listened to all the way through was My Aim Is True, Elvis Costello.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
alrighty. We got an oldies fan. I like it.
yeah. There's been a lot of that these days, like that, Beach Boys, that sort of thing.
Dude, I'm a
Neil
huge
Young.
fan of that kind of stuff, man. Like, huge fan of oldies. I
Hell
grew up
yeah,
on that
dude.
stuff. What
So
about
good.
your albums of the year, either for up to this point or last year? It doesn't really matter.
Did I have an album of the year last year?
Yeah,
I
dude.
feel
There
like
was so many albums that came out.
I mean, yeah, I feel like I did make like a short list or something. I just don't remember what was actually on it. Um, shoot.
I think for me, and I guess this is kind of a cop out because it's not really a new album. I don't know, but Dave Norman again from Zegama Beach put out the Loftus discography tape,
Hmm.
and I'm like a huge fan of that band. I think they're super underrated. I kind of even think they may have started the sound that like Daughters went on to do. That might be
Ooh, that's some big words
controversial.
right there. Okay, Loftus. I gotta check them out
Yeah,
now. So like
they're great.
Loftus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and yeah, so Dave put out a discography tape. It has like all their stuff from when they started as just like a SoCal metalcore band up through like some of the more like botch, locust type stuff, and then their later stuff, including like an unreleased EP, was in the tape. Kind of more Daughtersy, kind of like with Jesus Lizard style vocals. But I really like that. I've been like hunting down their music and like collecting their stuff for years. So when that came out, like I gave it many spins.
Huh. I need to check them
Yeah.
out. That sounds awesome.
Yeah. No, Loftus is great.
Yeah.
Nouveau Oscura put out a record last year that was really great. Kind of like
Yeah, they did.
Lord Snowy, like Screamo.
I just found out that that's the same band as Vril.
Yeah,
I had
it's
no
real.
idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I was seeing this band and I was like, oh cool. And then I don't know how I found out, but yeah. So now I have a whole bunch of new Vril to listen to.
Oh, the two records are so good. The one they put out in 2019 and the one they put out last year. Really just some top quality Screamo, in my opinion. Gift from God. Did they put out? No, they put that
That
record
was
out in
2019. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking through my Winamp right now.
I am literally looking through Music B at the moment. Why didn't I download anything from them this year? I listened to excuse me. I listened to crap out of How I'm Feeling Now by Charlie XCX.
You know, I haven't heard of so many of these bands that y'all are saying. I just now realize how much of a scene I'm missing. Like, it's crazy that like I feel like the screamo scene and the mathcore scene are like right next to each other in terms of like crossover and stuff. But it's just a completely different world that I'm missing out on. You know, I need to dive into it like way more than I am.
Oh well, Charlie XCX is just like your like classic like 2020s pop star now, like the whole like
Oh.
modern pop thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have no idea. See, that's how much I don't know.
It's okay. Now she put out a really great record, I think, last year. That Hum record surprised the shit out of me. I never thought they'd put out a new record, and I never thought I'd enjoy it as much as I did.
What about you, Chris?
Me?
Yeah.
So I mention this almost every time we do the cast, and I'm going to do it again. I did a show with Carson Pace and Taylor Bates. We were talking about our top 10 albums of the year for last year, and we were just supposed to choose 10 each, and we ended up talking about 28 different albums. And this is like in the mathcore like area, you know what I mean? So I kind of figured the list would line up more with each other, but we were all over the board. And for me, the best one was the God Awful Truth's Memory Palace. Really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. Yeah, it's kind of like, I guess, Dillinger, Car Bomb type of thing.
Cool.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Classic mathcore.
Yeah, not bad. They do a lot of the, what do you call it? What's that word? Oh my god. I don't know how I'm missing it now. I don't even know what you call it now. Okay, well,
Is that like a
octaves.
sound?
Yeah.
Oh,
Octave
octaves.
pedals. There we go. A lot of that. A lot of the laser-y sounds. But yeah. So, do you have anything else that y'all wanted to bring up, or should we just move out to the intro or outro?
I don't know. Follow us on Instagram. I'm trying to get us verified.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Get that. What is it on Instagram?
The blue check mark, is that what it is? Or?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
what
blue
it is on
check mark.
Instagram too? Okay.
I think so. But actually, because I don't know, I think that's where it seems like no one's on Facebook these days. So I made the Insta, and it seems like that's the best way to get news out, like the show we're doing. And
well, you're doing a show?
no, this show, the podcast.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait a
Yeah.
second, I didn't see anything about this. Okay.
No, sorry to get the hopes up. Yeah, follow us on Insta. If we are to do merch, if we are to do stuff like that, that's probably where we would announce it. So,
alrighty.
and thanks to everyone for listening to the record. I mean, everyone's been very kind about it.
It's all the positive feedback we've been getting about the record is super great. It feels really great to get this record out after 6 years. And I'm just glad that we were able to do it.
Is this like a one and done kind of thing, or are y'all like a band again?
I don't know.
That's an interesting question. We'll just
that makes it sound like that y'all are a band again, the way you just said that.
Again, can't confirm or deny, maybe.
We'll just have to follow our Instagram.
Yeah, you'll have to follow the Insta.
Nice. Well, if you're looking for something that perfectly marries brutality and beauty, you owe it to yourself to check out Youth Novel's self-titled debut album. You guys are on Facebook, Instagram, Bandcamp. You're also on all the streaming platforms. Are there any social plugs that I'm missing?
No, I think you hit them all.
Okay.
Youthnovel.craigslist.com, youthnovel at earthlink.net,
myspace.com/youthnovel.
Of course.
Man, if only.
As for me, drop my channel follow so you always know when I go live. You can also sub to get access to some exclusive emotes, as well as access to the interviews before they hit YouTube and streaming services. You can also sub for free by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, which gets you one free sub a month. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. YouTube folks, if you like the video, please drop a like, click the notification bell, don't forget to subscribe. It's a great way to support me for free. Check out my music, The Sound That Ends Creation, at thesoundthatendskreation.bandcamp.com. My next guest is Ohio-based Chaos Core two-piece Humid, who's dropping a new EP, Birth, this Friday. Join us this Sunday, the 21st at 7 p.m. Central, right here at twitch.tv/thecast@inscreation for the live cast. Thanks for being here, guys. Hope you all had a good time.
Hell yeah, thanks for having us, Chris.
Hell yeah, and thank you all for watching and listening.